Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Matt Madness Wrestling Podcast. My name is Ron Pashery, columnist for TJRWrestling.net. Here once again with my good friends Aaron Lloyd and Ek2Fly, Eric Trembicki.
What's going on?
Just to get started, Aaron had a little something for you guys. He wanted to get off his chest.
Guys, what do you think about the show?
I think it's a good show.
What do you think, Eric?
It's pretty decent.
Just decent?
Pretty decent.
Most importantly, what do you guys think about this show? We need you to go on iTunes, give us 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5-star reviews. Let us know anything. Do you think Ron's the perfect 20? Do you like Eric's hair? Do I look like Big E or D-Lo? Head nod and all. Do you want to see Joey Rott dressed up as a total diva? Let us know anything. But we need 5 stars to hear from you guys. It helps us up top the iTunes charts. Please and thank you.
On that note,
well put.
High energy.
Subscribe to us on iTunes. Follow us on Podbean. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. These are all places you can get our videos. We're going to be adding a lot more content in the coming weeks and moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, we're supposed to be moving forward towards WrestleMania, but on Saturday night we had a show called Roadblock, which stopped a little bit of the progress. What did you guys think of the live event, Roadblock?
One question.
Didn't block much.
One question. Are my feet under the table?
They're not quite.
Okay, just like Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're under the table.
Okay, thank you. It was their best live event. I was really enjoyed. The Divas match was great. The tag match was great. The main event was awesome, but it kind of shaded the WrestleMania main event, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it'll overshadow what they do in the main event there. Eric, what do you think of Roadblock?
I thought overall, good show. The in-ring work was good. I mean, overall, nothing really altered anything you were already expecting for Mania, which I think, as a fan, I was disappointed about. I wanted to see something change. At the same time, I think my biggest appointment was still the NXT tag match. I just want to see Enzo and Cass.
We'll get to that.
Titles.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Overall show was, the main event was better than what I expected. I kind of expected the match, to go in Triple H's favor. Dean, had the controversial pin. Your feet under the rope, under the table.
They're under the table now.
Yeah, as top to bottom, it was a good show. These things seem to get like a lot of ridicule leading up to it. Like we made fun of the name the whole show last week.
We had a yield sign last week.
A lot of people made fun of it just being like a house show that was televised, but for a lot of the quote-unquote internet wrestling community, the hardcore fans that like to talk about the wrestling not being emphasized, this was a show that was all about the wrestling. Good matches from beginning to end. Nothing was really, a big spot fest. It was a lot of just good wrestling matches. It's what it was all about. I think we all kind of knew they really were not going to change the main event of WrestleMania this close. I think we all hoped Ambrose would go over, but it was a great match. He looked really good in that match. He showed, he could pin Triple H. And I thought it was a good show, all in all. And it's a good little incentive for people to have the WWE Network. Something we got that people couldn't get on pay-per-view.
Well, they missed a big...
I don't think it was the best live event. I think Beast in the East was even better than that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't care, especially with that long main event tag match. At Beast East, I didn't really care for it. The KO Balor match was great, but I didn't care for Beast in the East that much. But they missed a big opportunity here because they're giving away the WWE Network for free, and for WrestleMania, you want people to subscribe. You had opportunity to give a title change and didn't give it. Have something happen so you could sell. Anything can happen on the network. They missed an opportunity.
That was something I personally thought that they really built Ambrose as I'm throwing a monkey wrench into your plans. I'm a wild card, basically. I'm going to change everything, and then ultimately he didn't.
But no picture really changed. Even if you factor the tag titles were on, they were on the line. And, shout out to the New Day defending the titles 3 times in 8 days, but at the same time, there's nothing changed. The tag team division, whether it was on the main roster or NXT, it didn't change. Nothing changed really for the mid-card. The main event didn't change. Brock's picture didn't change. Nothing changed.
The one thing that I feel it wasn't necessarily a change, but I think it moved the story forward a little bit. I've been talking a lot about Ambrose being looked at as Roman's little brother, and nobody respects him as much as they should. And he talked a lot. He told Triple H on Raw last week, I will earn your respect. He came into this. He also said that a lot of times he doesn't really know what he's doing. He just flies by the seat of his pants. Sometimes it doesn't work out for him, like when he got beat down by Brock. Sometimes it does work, like when he got himself a title match at Roadblock. So one thing, he did earn that respect, I think. He showed he belonged. He showed he could push the game, the King of Kings, to his absolute limit. Could pin him 1, 2, 3. And then the way he lost was taking a risk. He went for the elbow on the table, put himself through it, goes right in the ring to beat the 10 count, walks right into a pedigree. That was another thing where his mentality of not really thinking things through was what cost him the match. So I think those two aspects of Dean Ambrose were pushed forward a little bit. But now Dean Ambrose, unfortunately, is not involved in that picture anymore. Triple H is now officially building towards the main event of WrestleMania. The return of Roman Reigns last night. He did everything we've been saying he needs to do. He wasn't smiling, wasn't high-fiving.
That's just this week. Wait till next week.
Well, Triple H...
He's kissing babies.
You're kissing babies.
Yeah, Triple H got color the hard way last night, and he got booed for the entirety of the time he was on Raw last night. Roman Reigns, I mean, what did you think of the whole angle?
The whole angle kind of went not the way I would expect it to. I mean, I figured he was going to come out, during the match. I figured he was going to cost Ziggler the match. But, leading into that, we also saw earlier in the night, Ziggler was put in a match by Triple H's wife. You can pick anything you want as long as it doesn't have to do with the title picture for Mania. All you got to do is beat him. And, you're thinking, okay, logic will show. Roman's going to return. He's going to cost him. Ziggler's going to pin him. And Ziggler's going to get to do something cool at Mania. But that's not how it went. I guess as much as that being logic, I almost would have rather that happen that way. But it was, Roman went out there, was relentless, put Triple H down. I really liked when it went, out of the ring, when it went backstage. And, it was good. Good for him. Good for his character.
All right. Like I said, they had to have this guy do something cool.
Did you consider what he did last night cool?
Not all the way, because I went back. Even I said Roadblock. Reigns should cost Triple H the title at Roadblock, and then they had another opportunity to have him cost Triple H a match against Ziggler. That was the perfect time because they said, Ziggler, you can have any match you want other than the world title at WrestleMania if you beat Triple H. Reigns' music could have hit, and Ziggler could have easily rolled him up and won the match, and that would have got him a better response than what he got, because when he came out, he still got booed.
Right. He came out after the fact.
Yeah.
On the ramp, it was a little bit of a different entrance for him. He had the scowl on his face. He was angry. He meant business, and people still hated him.
I thought one thing that would have been better is if Stephanie or Triple H didn't see him coming down the stage. They should have let him get all the way to the ring without them noticing.
Right.
Yeah. Or had his music.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go through the trouble of having him at the ramp, Triple H is looking this way, at least have it be where it meant something that he did that.
Yeah, the music could have easily hit, and you couldn't. Triple H could just look around, and Ziggler could just roll him up, and then after he rolls him up, out of nowhere, you see Reigns come out, maybe the crowd, and hit him with a spear, and just go from there. But even when he came out, the way he took him down was sloppy. But I said the crowd tore him up still because they knew.
Yeah,
they're trying to set this guy up, but I don't think it's going to work. They only have 2-3 weeks left to do it.
There were some chicks in the front row that were loving it.
They love Roman Reigns.
Yeah, chicks and maybe some little kids, but the majority of the people in attendance, just like when Raw is in our home city of Philadelphia this coming Monday, he's going to get the same reaction, if not worse, probably.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's like 3 weeks though. 3 weeks to get this guy over. You have to turn this guy heel.
Well, I want to get back to Dolph Ziggler a little bit later on because there's a point I want to make about him. But Ronald Lloyd actually did have a question about this.
Hello! Say that, Ron.
And this is something I actually had written down in my notes, so that's why I want to get to it now. Is there any way to salvage this Roman Reigns character or this main event by WrestleMania? Is there any way to do it?
Well, if they're going to do it, I think they're going to find the right city this Monday to do it. I mean, he's kind of, hit or miss. You figure Rumble in Philly 2 Januaries ago, our whole city, trying to think how I can keep this kid-friendly. They tore him up.
Mm-hmm.
They tore him up. They chewed him up. They spit him out.
Well done.
They didn't like him.
With his cousin.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. And 1 year time later, he's on Raw. He wins the world title, and everyone loves him in there. I mean, all three of us, we stood up. We enjoyed that match. He won the title. And when the cameras came off, he acknowledged, he said, it's crazy what a year of time can do. And then weeks later, everyone's, we're done with it.
Well, it went back to the way it was then last night. They just basically tried to do the same thing that worked the first time, and it didn't. Do you think...
Well, it's because they got to keep going with it.
Yeah. Do you think they salvage this by WrestleMania?
They have to do the best booking they've ever done, because after this, we all know what's Roman going to do. SmackDown's being taped right now, so we don't know what he's going to do. SmackDown, I don't know if Stephanie's going to be on SmackDown or Triple H. He has to come out and just go out and just be a force. Don't talk, keep it short and sweet, keep it simple. He has to do that on Raw, then a SmackDown after that, then a Raw after that. He has to do that all the way leading up to WrestleMania. Keep it short and simple, because we know he cannot cut a promo. If he's cutting a promo, even with Stephanie, it has to be a fierce promo. He cannot go to the smiley, hey baby girl, tater tot. He cannot do that. He has to be serious.
No goofing around.
He has to be serious.
No joking around.
He has to be serious for the next 3 weeks to WrestleMania. Because with Roman Reigns, like I said, when he speaks, people listen. When he's speaking for 20 minutes, nobody's listening.
Right. My answer to that is I don't think they could salvage it. I think he's going to get booed at WrestleMania. I just think that's going to be the way it's going to be. Next thing down on the list, as we said, Ambrose no longer feuding with Triple H. He's now building his no-holds-barred street fight match at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar. He comes out, talks about what happened at Roadblock. He was this close, couldn't get it done. That's what happens when you don't show me the proper respect. Basically insinuates, Brock, you're overlooking me. This could happen to you. Everybody's favorite advocate, Paul Heyman, came out with his client, Brock Lesnar. And Heyman, great as always. How do you feel about this kind of being the next step in that story?
I'm looking forward to the match. I was, the only negative of if Dean did win the title is there was a match that was teased that I was looking forward to. When Brock was going through those few years of just facing Cena back and forth, one match with Big Show, match with Triple H, I'm like, he's not facing anyone that I haven't seen him face. I'm not seeing another good match I want to see. One match I always wanted to see was Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. Once this started, building up, I was looking forward to it. I was hoping they wouldn't try to take it away, but they're going in the right direction. I mean, as a hopeful fan, I'm looking at, you made the right point, Triple H, even though there was nothing creative as a whole show that was a roadblock, Dean Ambrose's character does look stronger. Whether there was the terrible pinfall of his leg being under and that being voided, he still pinned the world champion. So there is the chance, I'm looking at it as a hopeful fan, maybe he can be the first person in 2-3 years to pin Brock.
I enjoyed the promo and the whole thing with Brock Lesnar. I'm glad they got directly back to it and Triple H was not involved in this.
Yeah, they didn't waste any
time.
time.
I'm glad it went straight to the point. I'm looking forward to this match because I think Dean Ambrose is going to win this match. I think we're going to get a Mick Foley like performance. No pun intended to what happened backstage when he got the
school,
got the return of Barbie.
Old school Moxley CZW performance.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a straight Mick Foley Moxley performance, and he's going to win. And because like I said, Dean Ambrose, who's left? To possibly main event for the title.
Right.
Whenever Triple H drops, who's left? You have to elevate this guy, and the perfect way to elevate him is to beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has been pinned since 29 when Triple H beat him.
Wow.
That's the last time he's been pinned.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And to protect him, this is the perfect stipulation to protect him because it's a hardcore environment. Anything goes in this match.
Right. Yeah, so it's not like he's looking necessarily weak. I mean, he could take an insane beating with some insane weapon. I mean, he waits till Heyman leaves. Heyman kept telling Ambrose, I'm saving you right now by not letting my client come down there. As soon as Heyman walks out, Brock takes that as his opportunity to come down. Dean is waiting with the crowbar. I thought that was great, and they didn't touch. They got close to a confrontation. They didn't quite make it there. Then, backstage, we get, as you mentioned, Mick Foley, who wanted to have a little meeting with Dean, said he had a gift for him. I like that Dean really helped him set up his cheap pop for Pittsburgh, PA. I thought that was funny. And then he gave him the barbed wire baseball bat. Do you think that gets used in this match?
The bat's going to get used.
I feel
that's a lot.
It'll get used to the back. That's about it. Not to the head.
Then it's gonna get hit used to the ribs.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Foley though. This is the perfect spot I think for Foley.
Foley, what he needs to do if they somehow butcher and Ambrose isn't in the world title picture after Mania, then we need like by SummerSlam or one of the B+ pay-per-views in between. Mick Foley should come back, give him another gift, give him the hardcore title. Like, what you did was good. I got another one of these things.
Well, I also liked that Dean asked him, why? Because he kept asking Dean, why are you doing this? Why did you want to do this? He said, well, why did you do what you did with The Undertaker right here in Pittsburgh?
That was good.
And he said, well, I was Mick Foley, and that's what I did. And he said, well, I'm Dean Ambrose, and this is what I do. Just one more little piece to build up Dean Ambrose. I like the direction they're taking.
That's a good point. Already a fan. Right when he said that, I was like, that's why
it was a great moment.
I like this guy.
And to be in there with... because Dean really wasn't getting to talk that much for most of the last year.
Yeah.
And now he's getting a chance to talk. The fact that he's actually holding his own, being in a promo with Mick Foley, I think shows you the potential this guy has if they allow him to achieve it. What closed the show last night was the Vince Undertaker Shane confrontation. Vince, comes out. What if? Imagine, the victorious Shane McMahon promising to usher in a new era. It won't happen. I'll win. Taker comes. He introduces Taker as his instrument of destruction. Taker comes out. He calls him out for putting his arm around his hand around his neck. Then immediately backtracks and apologizes. Shane comes out, calls Taker Vince's bitch, and then the scuffle ensues. I think what I found most interesting about this is, one, and this is actually where I'm going to get into Dolph Ziggler, but one, it looked to me like they're trying to make you think Shane McMahon is legitimately a threat to The Undertaker, which I don't know if a lot of people are going to buy.
Well,
do you buy it?
Yeah, because he's going to beat him.
He may beat him, but I think the point they've tried to make the last 2 weeks, I think you said it, maybe you did, that when Stephanie was talking to Vince after Shane dispatched the security guards, and she basically was like, well, Dad, did you see what Shane just did? And then last night, he mixes it up with Undertaker, and he was holding his own. I think they're trying to make the viewer look at it like, oh, Shane McMahon one-on-one with The Undertaker.
He slipped right out of a chokeslam.
Yeah. Are you buying that?
There was a dirt sheet out about that, but it was just a dirt sheet. It got fixed. I don't know if you guys read about that whole.
I did.
Okay. It was basically some tickets for Raw in Baltimore, I think. They got printed out saying Monday Night Raw versus WWE. But Ticketmaster fixed that mistake, so there was a whole dirt sheet about it. But
saying that it was proof of the brand split about to happen?
Yeah, but I don't listen to those people. I just laugh at them. But anyway, I do think Shane has a chance to win because Shane, when he was talking about there's a group of guys who aren't getting what they deserve, Dolph Ziggler, I think he plays a part in this match or the world title match.
Exactly where I was going. I'm glad you said that because, not to cut you off, but this is exactly what I was thinking. Last week, they have the whole thing with him with the tweet, and then they bring up Survivor Series when he put an end to the Authority. And I'm like, why are you even talking about that now? Like, you didn't pay it off 2 years ago when it happened. Why are you making it relevant now? Then he comes out last night to confront Triple H and Stephanie. I'm like, why? Why is Ziggler involved in this? Then he loses, and then when Shane said this, he talked about these guys who are not living up to their potential. He said, I'm fighting for the fans. I'm fighting for the new era, the new legacy. And then it clicked to me, maybe they're bringing this Dolph Ziggler Authority stuff up because he's going to help Shane actually wrestle control away from the Authority again.
But the thing is, I don't think it would just be Dolph.
No, but you think that's
I think
where
Dolph will be
going.
a part of it. It's an opportunity. You should have heard the dirt sheet I heard before this. It was so good. They named every option, and they called themselves reporters, and they named every option as common sense. They say he's gonna help Roman Reigns. He's gonna help Triple H beat Roman Reigns. Then they say, oh, he might help Shane. What are you reporting? What are you telling us? You're telling us common sense. But I thought Bullet Club. Maybe Balor comes in, but I think
that's like the biggest rumor in the world that the lights are going to cut off and everyone from Bullet Club is going to show up.
But I think they're going to NXT because NXT made mention of Bullet Club last week when Balor was against Neville. But I don't know.
So did Edge and Christian.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. But I think that there might be a group of guys that help Dolph win this match. Shane win this match. It can't just be just Dolph.
I do agree with that. It's not going to be just Dolph Ziggler running in to help. But I felt like this is where, because I mentioned last week that they're using the word authority so much the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it makes me feel like they're hyping you up to think we can't be beat, you can't stop authority, and this is where it ends.
I mean, if they go with the direction with Dolph, I think that'd be kind of cool. Just because if you look at it, until that last hour of Raw, you didn't expect that. You didn't expect that a week ago. You didn't expect that when that match came up. Dolph Ziggler was the last person anyone was thinking would have something to do with this match. I hope it's something that you're not expecting. The way I look at it is if someone comes out and helps, if they're coming out to help Shane, I mean, if they're going to send in multiple people, you almost got to send Kane in. Kane come help his brother, and then he's helping keep the authority in power. But at the same time, so what? You're going to send in Dolph Ziggler, who's supposed to be a face, and if he's going to remain a face, he's coming to attack The Undertaker?
But the thing with this is it's hard to determine who's the face and the heel in this situation because people love Shane McMahon, people love The Undertaker.
Yeah, the baby face in this scenario is the idea of the authority losing control.
Yeah,
but whoever comes out and hits The Undertaker is going to get booed.
That's the thing. It might be split because people love The Undertaker, but people want to see Triple H go on. They want to see Shane run the company.
I think this week coming in, you're going to get a little bit more of an insight on who's siding with what.
Yeah.
I think the one thing, and I predicted this weeks ago, it's going to come down to, I think this week, we saw Undertaker standing tall the end of Raw last night. We had Taker put down Shane. He ended up getting Shane with a chokeslam, left him down. So we got 2 more Raws before Mania. I think coming into this one, if it doesn't come down to the last episode, I think it makes more sense to do it now. I think Shane gets the better over of Taker. And he's nervous. And you have Stephanie in the background freaking out to her dad again.
This is just one more.
And then that's when Vince says, you know what? Undertaker, if you can't beat my son, you're fired.
So you're still predicting the
it's
company versus retirement.
Prediction / hope.
And then Shane made a point that I've been trying to make on this show. Why are you helping Vince?
Right.
He said you're just being his puppet. We still don't really know.
But that's the thing. He doesn't, Taker doesn't need an answer because he's being disrespected at that point. So what? He's just got disrespected by Shane last night. So what? He's gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna help. I'm not gonna listen to Shane. So what? I'm not gonna help his dad now." He's put in a match. There doesn't really need to be that clarification at this point. But the reason that's going to give you the clarification going into it is if they put his career on the line. They put his career on the line. He's going to want to destroy him.
That's the point. That's the point. If Vince has to say that,
he has.
It's still time for it. But the thing is, Vince,
we're getting really close.
We're getting close to it. But Shane did mention, why are you helping this guy?
Right.
And then if Vince says if you don't win this match, you're fired, that will light a fire under the Undertaker and have him do everything to win this match.
Well, that's why it made sense that they made this match so far in advance.
Because they've built it a little bit.
They've been building this one good. They've been building it good.
Yeah, it's not. They didn't tell it. I mean, it could just be a case of they gave you a little bit, and it's one of those story techniques.
I hope when we're at Raw next week, I hope it's one of those things where it's a talked about angle within the first. If it's not the opening segment after the first match, they tease talking about it. And going into the 10 o'clock hour, they talk about it again. And they finish the night off with it. I hope it's not one of those things they just either not like, we're going to talk about it in the beginning and it's over, or we'll talk about it at the end and it's over. It needs to be one of those things that they just tease throughout the show.
I mean,
it's the main...
It'll be a key thread throughout.
Yeah, it's the main storyline going on right now. So
another big storyline, Y2AJ, as we all know, have broken up. Sadly for some of us. Y2J, Jericho has been cutting some great heel promos on AJ and just in general.
He's been good at getting heel heat all over. I mean, I don't know if we got a lot of Canadian listeners, but the heel heat of leaving his match. Brett rips the sign.
That was great.
That was so great.
Especially what the sign said.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, how great on SmackDown was just the visual when he burned the T-shirt, burning AJ in effigy, and there was just the shot of Jericho's face above the flames coming out of the trash can. I mean,
his face is so motionless in this.
Yeah, and his mock, the AJ chant, the AJ style. He's really building himself up as a great heel character right now.
He's always been a great heel. I mean, the great thing is he almost seems obsessed with it.
He does, which I like. I liked it when Owens was obsessed with Ambrose when he lost his Intercontinental title to Ambrose. And that's what has happened with Jericho now. AJ finally got, a little payback last night with the phenomenal forearm, as they're calling it now. Was it always called that, or is that new?
I think that was a new name.
That's new.
Okay, that's what I thought, too.
Your boy Michael Cole plugged that move name
quite a bit.
3 times in 30 seconds.
Jericho also said he needed to show AJ who was his daddy, which I enjoyed.
Who's your daddy?
This is another thing I think we're probably all happy about, that we were worried that AJ would get trapped in some type of 4, 5, 6-man match. I think it's safe to say now it's going to be him against Jericho. You agree? No?
I couldn't put it past them.
Do you think he's going to get thrown into the Intercontinental?
I'm leaning towards Y2 Jericho and AJ having a match, but who knows with them? Because Neville got hurt.
Well, yeah.
Neville's out for a while.
What was he going to be doing?
Well, I think they were building
he was going to be in that match with Miz, Zayn, and Owens, and I'm sure they'll throw 2 other people in there in the next couple of weeks.
See, I was getting the feeling it was going to be a fatal 4-way with those 4. Mm-hmm. And now with Neville out, they got to find a replacement. I don't know. I think that they're happy with having secured AJ Styles. Like, we got this guy. We're going to use him, not hide him. And that's a guy you don't want to hide at his first WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's. I do think he'll go one-on-one with Jericho. I just don't know what kind of match it will be. Even though Jericho turning heel gives it the match a whole new feel, because Jericho will be using heel tactics the entire match.
Right. That's kind of how I felt too. I was feeling like I don't want them to break up because I don't feel like they need another match. But you're right. Jericho hating him so much, becoming a bigger heel week by week, it does make it a little bit of a different story for them to tell.
And I do like that they continuously, Jericho still, he's blaming it's the crowd's fault. He didn't do this. He didn't do it. We did it.
Right.
We're at the wrong. We're the reason he's starting bonfires in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, it is our fault. The crazy thing is, it is a petty reason to turn on somebody, but Jericho has always kind of had that personality when he is a heel. He's very petty. He's very I think it fits.
Yeah.
Intercontinental title. Like I said, I don't think either of these 2 guys are going to be involved with the Intercontinental title. I hope not. I think we all agreed that if it was Owens versus Zayn would go over at WrestleMania. It looks like that's not going to be the case. So I hope that we get Kevin Owens defending the Intercontinental Championship for a while longer after WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, for the sake of Zayn's character, we better hope it's a multi-match. Because if Owens keeping the title, we don't need a one-on-one match. Or at least Zayn better be sitting in the back of the locker room right now saying, geez, okay, I hope I'm not the one getting pinned.
Yeah.
There'll be 5 or 6 other people.
Do you think maybe Tyler Breeze takes Neville's spot?
Yes.
Do you think that, or do you hope that?
I think that.
He'll be the one drawing the
He ain't doing nothing.
Tyler Breeze will be in the back pulling the short straw to get pinned.
He ain't doing nothing.
Well, he had a great performance in the 5-man Intercontinental match a month ago. So I think he'd be a good guy to put in there.
Him and Stardust should have a number 1 contender match to be added to the fatal 8-way.
I could get behind that. The guy earning the spot, as opposed to just, you're in it.
That's always what guys they do. In there anyway. Yeah. But I'm kind of concerned for Sami Zayn, because I'm gonna go back to Roadblock. Vince must have not been at Roadblock because they introduced Enzo and Cass right. Mm-hmm. They had a video package talking about them in the revival, and they explained the rivalry and stuff like that. They haven't done that with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, so they don't know why they say it, but you don't see it. It's important for people to see things. Right. They haven't seen any of the highlights of Kevin Owens giving him an apron powerbomb and beating him to death for the NXT title.
Right. You only know that if you watch NXT.
Yeah, but the casual fan, you can say they watch NXT, but you're not sure. Mm-hmm. But I think it'll be mostly a match.
And also, that happened like over a year ago.
Yeah.
On NXT.
Yeah, so it has to be refreshed. And on top of that, I do think it'll be a multi-man match because Sami Zayn has a match at TakeOver. Since Sami Zayn lost the number 1 contender match, do you guys want to know who he's facing?
I I kind of have an idea. You can tell me if I'm right. Is it Nakamura?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
So I expect him to lose that match, and then I don't think they'll have him lose back-to-back nights.
Right.
So it's the perfect situation to have him lose in a multi-man match but not be pinned.
Right.
If it's a ladder match, there's no pin situation, but I do think he'll be the one to beat Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title.
That's smart. Speaking of Roadblock, so Raw actually started with a match for the first time in a long time. We got the New Day for two out of 3 nights against 2 members of the League
3
of
nights
Nations.
and 8 days.
I was really against this whole idea of the League of Nations because I just think they're boring and pointless and
They are.
what's the use? But it looks to me like they're using the League of Nations to turn New Day into a babyface tag team. You don't think they're doing that, or you don't want that?
I don't want that. No.
But
no.
that's what they looked an awful lot like a babyface team on Raw.
In this situation, they'll be face, but I need them to stay in that tweener role because I still think since we got introduced to Enzo and Cass, I think Enzo and Cass are the guys that'll face the New Day next. Because I don't know if you saw, but the League of Nations challenged New Day to a tag match at Mania, but I don't think they'll be for the tag team titles.
You don't think that?
Well, I don't know if it's 2-on-2. I don't know if it's gonna be on 3-on-3 or what.
Supposedly it's supposed to be 4-on-3, I think.
Well, if they do that, but I don't think it'll be for the tag team titles.
I did hear a rumor that they were supposed to go 3-on-3 with the titles on the line.
Okay, because it could be on Freebird rules.
Right.
You know,
That's exactly what I read. It was Freebird's rule.
Yeah, it could be that, but I don't think they'll be face for long term because I hated the fact that they played the face role at Roadblock.
Well, which 2 members of the League of Nations get the belts?
It could be Freebird rules. That means any combination could defend them.
Any combination of the 4?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just making it more confusing. I thought 3 was hard to follow.
Well, they played the babyface role at Roadblock and Raw.
I hated it because
they didn't insult the crowd during their promo on Raw.
You don't like seeing yourself get beat down?
They took a babyface beat down.
But what good?
After the match.
But what good is Woods at their babyface?
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's what it looks like.
But what
they're
good
doing.
is Woods outside the ring if they're babyface?
I don't know.
Even at Roadblock, I was like, really? Like, this would be the perfect time for Woods to do some antics, but he did nothing.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just
he didn't want to get any
think that's
bad
what
news.
They're doing.
Well, we did see a bullhammer for the first time in years.
We did, and this is another issue I want to address. It doesn't have to be a long topic, but another match decided by one guy distracting another guy, and then the match ends in a roll-up. I feel like there's just way too many of these roll-ups recently.
That was just all bad. The Jericho Neville match? Well, Neville gets hurt in that match, and that's why it ended. I mean, if anything, he should have been pinned. He should have took that. But that was good heel heat on Jericho. He's hurt, and he assaults the referee, and it's just keeping his back.
Oh, that was a good veteran move. Like, he can't continue. I'll be the heel that shoves the official and gets disqualified, so the medical team can attend to this guy. This was just Kofi distracts Rusev. Woods comes in and rolls him up. Too many roll-ups for my liking anymore.
Yeah.
Find it a different way. At least if the guy's distracted and walks right into a finisher, I'm better with that than just a cheesy roll-up.
As much as no man wants to feel it, whatever happened to the heel heat of the low blow for the win?
I don't know.
Is that part of the?
I prefer
PG
that to the
era?
roll-up.
I think it's a part of the PG.
It could
thing.
be, but I prefer that to a roll-up. Dudley's still heels, still not getting to do a whole lot with it.
They're facing losers at WrestleMania.
They
Was
will.
that going to be the
I feel like
pre-show
there's
match?
no stakes.
It's not. I think it'll be a pre-match show.
The only thing that'll make
a pre-show match.
the only thing that would make that make sense is if no, it wouldn't make sense.
Nothing.
They make them the number 1 contender for the tag titles, but it's we're
I
talking
don't
about
really have
4
interest in
teams. 3 of them
seeing
are
that.
supposed to be heels.
Yeah, it's silly.
Do you guys want to get into the NXT tag title match from Roadblock?
No, I don't want to talk about it at all.
I'm disappointed. I have 2 things to say about it. One, I'm disappointed that they didn't win. 2, I was happy with.
Say my logic.
I was happy with the reaction they got from the crowd.
Yeah, I'm glad they knew who they were.
A bigger crowd.
And that's a house show
Not
crowd.
not an NXT crowd. The place blew up for them. I think that was good for them going forward. And I was just happy to see it. Because to me, just being over and being loved as a tag team.
At a house show.
Their ring work was real good.
Oh, great. It was a great tag match.
I have something to say. Michael Cole. He was on fire when it came to Enzo and Cass. Don't make that face in the air.
All right, listen.
Cold, no, because this
The
man.
annoying thing about that whole company that makes no sense, if you think they're going to be the one to end the New Day, it's just going to make anyone with half a brain just wonder, wait a minute. So you're going to send these guys up from developmental and say, all right, we're going to take them out of NXT. They're ready for the main roster. And they're going to win the titles from the New Day. They're going to beat the New Day, but they've had over 4 NXT tag title matches and never won it.
And that's something the New Day can have to work against Enzo and Cass, because in WWE's mind, for a marketing standpoint, which they love, there's no tag team that's marketable other than Enzo and Cass. No team's going to sell more shirts than the New Day other than Enzo and Cass. Everywhere we go, you see a soft for how you doing, or the chants, New Day or how you doing, or soft. Sing along with Enzo. That'd be the perfect thing to go against him. But Michael Cole, he did a great job introducing them. He even, Cass had a move. Cass didn't even have names for his moves. If he did, I didn't know what it was. His elbow, the Empire elbow, and his sidewalk slams, East River Crossing. Yeah. Cole did a great job introducing them to us. I'm not going to say that often Cole did a good job, but he did a great job.
But our complaints don't hold any weight if we don't mention when he does things well.
Yeah, but the thing is, you could tell it was mainly about Enzo and Cass, because he did nothing for Dash and Dawson. He didn't even call the Shadow Machine what it was. He said, "Oh, what a high impact move," and that was it.
Oh, they planted him. That's what he always likes to say. They planted him. From a marketability standpoint, I mean, they have a lot going for them. They don't necessarily need those titles. Just as fans, we all want them to have them.
Yeah, if you sell merch, they'll push you.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're going to do more for those titles. I mean, if they want, you figure
Vince just doesn't care. That's a part.
But that should be where Triple H is coming in.
And the thing with Enzo and Cass, Vince will love Enzo and Cass because he'll love Enzo because he'll think entertaining.
Well, Road Dogg, I don't know if you saw the tweet he had. He said, "Oh, that reminds me of a tag team I used to know."
And then Cass is a big guy; he could actually work. Vince would be like, "Hey, how tall are you? 7 foot tall? Push him!"
He's right. You can't teach that. Sorry.
Realest guys in the room. How you doing?
You think he's gonna get his ECW attire back out for it?
He might.
With his do-rag.
Divas division. Charlotte again on a great roll. Great match at Roadblock. Great promo on Raw, just trashing Sasha and Becky. Haven't seen Sasha and Becky in a little bit. They're actually building Lana and Brie.
That A-Diva tag coming up, I told you.
Yeah, a little bit more than the actual Divas title match. I don't know. Weird, right?
Question, Lana, who's the hotter heel now, Lana or Charlotte?
I don't know. Man, it's tough. I still say Charlotte, but Lana is...
But Lana, she showed me a lot because she just has that... She has a natural charisma.
Yeah, swagger.
Yeah, just says a few things.
And whatever she's doing, you feel like it matters.
Yeah, and everybody always... And the thing is with Lana is she has such a swagger to her. Everybody's just watching what she's doing.
Yeah.
And not even a match. They're just paying attention to Lana. She's real unique because she'll even sit in a chair at the commentary. She sits on the commentary table.
Yeah, she does. The last 2 times she's been out there. I think it's good and bad in a way that they're building this up as much as it is. It's good in the sense that we've talked for a little while about there needs to be a good secondary Divas division story. It can't always just be about the Divas title. The bad is that you have a huge Divas title match that I feel like you're not putting the proper emphasis on with your 3 best workers that you have.
I think it already has,
So you just think it's got enough prestige that they don't need to invest as much in it?
Well, it's kind of like if you watched that Edge and Christian show on the network this week, Sasha and Becky, easy 5-star classic. You put those 2 in a match, it's gonna be good. You put Charlotte's a good worker. You're gonna put the 3 of them in a match, it's gonna be good.
I need Sasha to just go off and just take out both Charlotte and Becky, because Sasha's been in this whole team thing. NXT Sasha wasn't even about teams. She had Becky, but then she just pushed her to the side.
No, anybody she was involved with in NXT was just there to help her get further.
Yeah, even the BFFs, when Summer Rae went to WWE and Charlotte became the champion, she just pushed him to the side and just did her.
Because she's bigger than that.
Yeah, and then she's not even being what makes Sasha Sasha. She's letting Becky talk down to her and stuff like that, calling her Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. Let Sasha be Sasha. I think before Mania, hopefully we get Sasha just go out and be Sasha.
I think we'll see it. Before we get to our listener questions, we've actually discussed the 2 out of 3 falls match on NXT for the number 1 contendership for the last few weeks. Finally got it. Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn. They got 43 minutes to tell this match. It was the entire episode.
I watched it twice. It was
great match. For a guy like Joe to be able to go that long and still do some of the stuff he did at the end of that match.
Joe's amazing.
He is. He's great. Sammy, for a guy who used to be a masked wrestler, to have as much emotion on his face. I mean, I don't know if he just learned that at NXT. I don't know if that was Dusty helping him. But is there anybody that shows more on his face than Sami Zayn?
And I love the fact that he turned purple.
Yeah, like me.
That's where you stole it from.
No, I've been purple face Ronnie for a good decade now.
Everybody, coming next week. Go on the Facebook page and follow us on Instagram because this man will be purple with his body.
Hopefully that just embarrassed me more than the actual.
An actual picture you take.
Because he meets the boss, Sasha Banks, next week.
Freehold, New Jersey. If anybody wants to go out, I suggest you hurry up and get a ticket. Another thing I liked about this match is probably the last thing we'll mention. They had in the crowd, Sasha Banks is in the crowd. Hideo Itami's in the crowd.
Of people in the crowd.
Zabisco's in the crowd. Mauro Ranallo's in the crowd. Michael P.S. Hayes in the crowd. They made it feel like this is a match that is very important. This matters. This is an event. So these people came out to see it, which, if that doesn't build up your title, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
And they went 22 minutes before getting a fall, and then there was a fall every 10 minutes after that. But exceeded my expectations.
Is that a match?
It was definitely better. I thought
it's on the short list.
Okay, so
definitely.
We have to keep track. So we agree on this one, and then how about do we agree on the
what we're saying? Match of the year
nominees?
Oh.
Nominees for match of the year?
I thought I heard decade of hers.
No, because I'm assuming we're going to have a Slammy, or we'll call it something else.
We will.
An award show. So I know we have this, and then how about that tag match from last week with Y2AJ and New Day?
Tag match that's on the short list, and then what was the triple threat?
I think I'll watch back all the singles. Jericho and AJ.
From Fastlane, you mean? I wouldn't consider that.
Well, we're early.
We're still early.
That's on my short list.
Yeah, that's my short list too.
Oh no, what was the Royal Rumble? Owens and Ambrose.
Really?
The hardcore match. Yeah.
What was that? Last Man Standing?
Yeah, Last Man
Standing.
Oh, right.
That's on my personal short list at this point. Will it stand up for the rest of the year?
No.
Probably not, but
you were drinking beer more than you were paying attention to that match.
Oh, maybe he was. I can't say.
Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's first up for listener questions?
Well, we got rid of Ronald already. We got Justice Cross tonight.
Justice.
All right, Justice. Appreciate the question.
Justice, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. The question is, what do you think about Lana and where WWE is putting her right now? Do you think she's in a good spot to wrestle at WrestleMania this year? And do you think that there have been good match setups for this year's WrestleMania?
So I'll take this one first. You guys know I've been critical of moving Lana from the powerful, empowered woman character she was with Rusev to making her another catty diva. I feel like it's starting to move on from her being a catty diva. There's still some of those elements, but I think her hitting the Bella Buster the last 2 times she came out, she's showing something in the ring a little bit.
X Factor.
It's forever X Factor.
Yeah. Well, that's what I called it the one week, and then I realized I was wrong.
I never knew it was a Bella Buster till that time they said it.
So, and then last night, I liked that little promo she did with Paige in the back, and then Team Bad coming out. I think it's looking up a little bit more right now than it was a week or 2 weeks ago. And last part of the question was, do I think they've done a good job of building the Mania matches?
Yeah.
Justice, I don't think they have for the most part. I think the Shane Undertaker thing is getting a pretty good build. But I think everything got delayed by Roadblock. I don't know if that was just because they knew Roman needed to get this surgery, and that held everything up, and that was part of the planning. But I don't think the build has been that great for most of the matches.
All right, I guess going first with the Lana part, I like what they're doing with her because once they paired her back up with Rusev, it could never be as good as it originally was. What they had originally when she came out, you didn't know who she was, you didn't know who Rusev was. You watched a little bit of him in NXT, but at the same time, they just made him. They elevated it so much, and he had that red hot undefeated streak. Won a title, took it all the way to Mania, and they were great together. When she flip flopped, went to Ziggler, then came back, her credibility, went to the side, left, right. I mean, everyone liked looking at her when she was with Ziggler, but it didn't last. When she went back there, you're good for those, behind the scenes moments. If she does something silly, if you got The Rock coming back doing some jokes with her, she's good for that. However, the good thing she really has going for her is that heel accent. And it sounds ignorant saying this, a heel accent, but it's, her accent for her character.
It does.
And it plays in well to her, being a heel in the back. Whether she's putting Brie down, whether she's just trying to weigh her strength, she's, whether she's got Team Bad now backing her up. They're doing something right with her.
The accent emphasizes these other things that she says.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
It's a good point.
I like what they're doing with her. As far as the build up to Mania, I'm going to agree with what you're saying. And as far as, the Hell in the Cell match, Undertaker versus Shane, I think they're doing great with that because you got right after, Fastlane, that's when it started building. It was Fastlane, then it was, let's get Shane back, and they've been slowly building towards it every week. I just hope, if I'm getting my wish of his career being on the line, I hope we get something with that next week, and it's been something constant every week. I think Ambrose and Brock, they kind of built themselves in, on a hard place. What are they going to do? I mean, how many beatings can Dean Ambrose take every single week? And then what's really going to happen? I mean, unless he's going to win, cool, beat him down for 5 weeks, and then he goes over at Mania. So, then that's my take on that, Justice. Appreciate the question.
All right, well, I think they're doing a great job of Lana. I just said I think she's being in the top, arguably the top heel in the Divas division, other than Charlotte right now. She's being positioned to be in the 8 Diva tag because she's had interaction with Summer Rae last night with Paige, and Team Bad has her back, and she helped Summer Rae win. So that's the one team right there, and then she interacted with Brie, Alicia, and even Paige last night. I think she'll get with Natty. So I think that match is going to happen. As far as the whole main event scene, they've only done Shane and Taker, right? Because it's been the slow build constantly. Each week is something new. Triple H and Roman, that took a back seat because of stop sign and caution tape, whatever the crap it was called. That took a back seat because they gave the fans what they really wanted, Triple H and Ambrose. So it wasn't even about Roman. There was nothing talking about Roman. It was just how Ambrose just defies authority. And that hurt his situation with Brock because we were teased with the whole Wyatt thing. So I don't think they've done a great build. They've been building that whole New Day and League of Nations thing, but nobody really cares about the League of Nations.
They don't?
No. Even the Divas thing. Even the Divas thing, the Divas title, no. But I think they're building up that Divas tag match because it's a bit of a cluster. But I still think they're building that up. And the Y2AJ thing, that's still pretty fresh, and that's already been building since after the Royal Rumble.
I do give them credit for the Y2AJ thing. Yeah. That I thought that it kind of cooled, and then they actually made it into something again.
Yeah,
I can appreciate.
Yeah, the Jericho heel turn ignited that,
right?
Because it'll give the match a whole new dynamic.
I mean, I guess to backtrack because I didn't really address any other thing. I don't know. I guess they're doing something right with it. I just think someone still could have been doing better.
Jericho and AJ, you talking about?
Yeah, you think Jericho, AJ, and then at the same time, what are they really doing with the tag team? You got the tag titles, and they're held by the New Day. We don't know if they're heel or face. They're heels.
They could be tweeners.
So what? I mean,
I think they're face now. I could be proven wrong.
I don't want New Day's face.
Listen, the match Saturday, I didn't have my interest because I was like, okay, you're not going to have a heel team beat these tweeners or whatever it is. That I didn't think League of Nations were going to beat them. I actually thought Monday, I was like, okay, maybe they'll beat them. And then I was like, if they beat them, League of Nations, what are they going to do? The guys that, Sheamus and Barrett, what are they going to be pissed? Oh, we couldn't do it? That could start something there. I wish, if anything, if they were going to do that Jericho turn, I just still wish they saved it for Mania. Or, I figured there's something better. Because they don't really got nothing hot going for the tag titles. It's like every couple of months, you care about the tag title, something good are going on, and then for 3 months they're stagnant.
Yeah.
I feel like they're stagnant right now. So.
Do you have a listener question?
Yeah, we got Biggie Dan Johnson.
That day.
He said, do you feel Chris Jericho was pushing AJ too much? Telling the crowd to chant for him. So I guess more or less, wording into whether, if, we're getting him shoved down our throat. I don't really think that's going. I think Jericho's doing it perfectly, putting him over. I mean, he's already red hot, but Jericho's being such a good heel. It's not like somebody randomly turning heel to get this guy over. I mean, he's doing his thing to get, your fair weather fans, your diehard fans, your indie fans. They don't like him right now. People in his own country.
Even the Canadian fans, don't like him.
It's good. They're doing the right thing. So
You said, do you think he's pushing him too hard?
Is he pushing too hard to get the fan? Is he pushing his feud too hard?
Oh no, I don't, because he played the face dynamic, and then they tagged together, and he went heel. They said the whole heel thing changed the whole dynamic of the situation. And the thing with AJ Styles is you still have to introduce him to people, because people don't always know who AJ Styles is. Because he was in TNA and
similar to like you mentioned with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
He's not that familiar yet. We just assume people know.
They haven't shown any vignettes about his work prior, so people don't know who he is. Right. So teaming with like I said last week, teaming with Jericho can get this guy over, and getting wins over Jericho can get this guy over. Because arguably this guy's the best in-ring worker in the company. Yeah. Probably. So working with Jericho it's not killing AJ, it's putting him over so AJ can go into bigger things and hopefully win the world title by the end of the year. Because I actually think he'll be the one to win the U.S. title.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Ryback beats Kalisto, and I think he'll get into a program with Ryback and then take that from him and give it some kind of significance.
I'm cool with that if they do that. I wouldn't mind seeing him beat Ryberg.
And then the shovel comes back.
Yeah. My answer to this question, thank you, Dan, for the question. We appreciate it. My answer is no, I don't think he's pushing it too hard. I think Jericho, probably the veteran that he is, knows. We don't have a lot of heels that people hate. They have too many heels that people think are kind of cool. Like the Wyatts have kind of been in that spot where people like them. You can't, I don't know, they're not full-fledged heel. Like, I think Jericho knows that if I'm going to be a heel, that's the heel I'm going to be. I'm going to be the guy you hate. And he's doing everything he can to be hated. He got hated by his own country, which loves him. He got rooted against the real Americans in Canada at Roadblock. And also, I think the whole pushing for the chanting of AJ Styles. And again, this just could be me. I really appreciate story probably more than anything else. And I think this pushes the idea of he's just obsessed with this idea, his own ego of you guys like this guy more than me, and he just can't get over it. So I think it's a good touch actually to the story. Thank you again, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, Jericho's doing his job. He's doing it well.
He is. He's like I said, a hated heel.
I got guys heel. I work with that I appreciate Jericho. He's one of my favorite all time guys, and there are guys that he's getting under their skin. I mean, I get into work, and he's like,
it's not
you look what he did last night? Yeah. I can't stand him. I'm just like, what do you mean? I'm like, do you know how good he is? Like, he's terrible. Do you know how angry he has you right now? He's awesome.
Yeah. that goes back to me growing up as a kid. I was a big Hardy Boys mark, and Edge and Christian will always beat the Hardys over and over again. And you look back, I'll be so pissed, but you look back at it like, wow, that was so good.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. And then another thing, we love Kevin Owens so much, and he can be evil too, but we just eat it up and love it.
Right. Yeah, there's a segment of the fan base that we appreciate everything he does because he's so good at being that.
Oh, Kevin Owens, he was amazing last time commentary. But he said, this isn't NXT, this is the Kevin Owens show.
The Kevin Owens show, the road to KO Mania. He does a great job of putting himself over. Last question tonight is actually a comment and a question from a gentleman claiming to be the adorable Ronald Lloyd. He says for any noobs, he just wants you to be certain that he's talking about Adrian Adonis. He says Vince is an idiot, but he loves his ties. He says Triple H is an idiot.
He would love his ties.
if anyone else was the champ, they would have lost a non-title match to Ziggler due to help from Roman Reigns. Triple H is just unwilling to do that for anyone. He's too selfish. And he also said, that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg. I think just an excuse to get me to say that. But if we could fantasy book the main event for WrestleMania with current healthy wrestlers, who would it be and why? His was Lesnar and Ambrose for the title in a no-holds-barred match with Ambrose going over clean. Ambrose blasting him with a commercial fluorescent light bulb. Eric, what would your fantasy booking of the WrestleMania main event be?
Fantasy booking, okay. I'm gonna go with Laugh's siding there of making the main event being for the title, which is rare these days. For Mania, WrestleMania, the main event will be for the title. It will be Seth Rollins, or we can add him being healthy, right? Because
current healthy wrestlers.
Oh, people that are currently healthy.
Yes.
Oh, really? Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow, the spin
makes it a lot tougher.
All right.
If you guys want to think for a second, because I have mine
you
straight
go.
away. I would say title match, because I think your title should be defended in the main event at your biggest show. I would say Dean Ambrose as the champion against Roman Reigns. That's what I would book.
Ooh.
Roman Reigns, heel turn because he's bitter that Ambrose took the title out from under him. That's what I would book as my main event.
All right. If all four were healthy, and I'm going to use a part-timer, I'm going to do a fatal four-way match, but it's going to be a fatal four-way elimination the right way.
Okay.
It's going to be for the WWE title, Triple H coming in as the champion, defending against the winner of... No, wait, he won the Royal Rumble. All right, the winner of the 2015 Royal Rumble against Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose versus The Rock.
Be a great match. A lot of star power in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Fatal 4 elimination as well, but I'm going to have Triple H as the champion defending against Ambrose, Reigns, and Brock the special referee.
That'd be great, too. I'd enjoy that more than the main event that's actually booked right now. I believe that was it for listener questions. The adorable Ronald Lloyd, thank you for your question.
Thank you, adorable Ronald Lloyd.
You're a jobber.
It's definitely a heel, yeah.
You're a jobber.
This point in the show, we are going to get to our MarchMania bracket, the second round. Our Sweet 16 contestants will be decided tonight by a best 2 out of 3 vote.
What do you say now?
First matchup we have the number 1 overall seed, Stone Cold Steve Austin, against the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. I go with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not much of an argument there.
Yeah, classic 01 Invasion match. Yeah, Austin wins.
God damn. Austin wins.
Look at the shirt. On Stone Cold Steve Austin Day, 316.
That man is 316, damn it.
So we got Austin moving on to the next round. Setting up what could be an interesting match depending on how this goes. We have Goldberg, the number 12 seed, who upset Daniel Bryan, unfortunately.
It was upset.
Against Sting, the icon.
So much,
Goldberg against Sting.
Get in line.
I got to be honest, I hate Goldberg. I'd love to see the Austin-Goldberg matchup, but I got to go the Stinger.
Yeah, Sting wins.
Stinger.
I agree.
All right, two unanimous ones. So we got Austin against Sting in the Sweet 16. We have the bad guy, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, against Kurt Angle. This is a tough one for me because I really do love Scott Hall, but Kurt Angle, to me, he's one of the greatest of all time.
That's how WWE
I go Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Wow, another
Plain
unanimous
sweet.
pick. 2 Canadians. Number 2 seed, Bret the Hitman Hart, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, against Chris Benoit. I would have gone with the British Bulldog in the first round. I'll go with his brother-in-law, Bret Hart, in this round over Benoit.
Listen, it wasn't necessary for you to mention British Bulldog at all, all right? That was last week. And
You're right.
It would be a submission match, but Kurt Angle, or no. Bret Hart goes over again.
Bret Hart.
All right.
Plain sweet.
So now we're down to our bottom left quadrant. The Rock
Electricity's in the
against
air.
one of the greatest champions of all time, longest reigning champion of all time, Bruno Sammartino. Bruno, as an Italian American, I have respect for you, but I can't have The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, going out. So The Rock moves on for me.
People's champ.
Dwayne Johnson.
Another clean sheet.
Yeah, wow, we're all on the same page tonight. This is a tough matchup.
Double Canadian again.
Another all Canadian matchup. We have Y2J Chris Jericho as the 4 seed against the number 5 seed Edge. Aaron, I apologize, but I got to go with Y2J.
I'm going to go with Y2J as well.
You think you know me? I'm going Y2J too.
Oh, wow! I did not see that coming.
That's an
He
upset.
just didn't want to end the clean sweep record.
No, I was thinking about that all day, so I gotta go Jericho.
Number 3 seed Mick Foley, the hardcore legend, against one of the greatest heels of all time, Roddy Piper. I would guess if Mick Foley was picking this match himself, he'd probably pick Piper, but I'm going to pick Mick Foley.
Yeah, bang, bang. I'm going with you, brother.
Oh wow, I was picking Piper.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough one for me, but...
First non-clean
That's that's our heart speaking.
Yeah,
That's our heart.
Foley's my number 2 of all time. I don't know. And Foley, with all the different characters he did, I mean, most guys can't get one character over.
Is that the first split decision?
It
Yeah,
is.
first
It
one.
is.
It is the first split decision. We have... Oh, man. We have the number 10 seed, Seth Rollins, against the number 15 seed,
Split again.
Roman Reigns. I just have to say, for anybody who was not aware, it broke my heart to pick Roman Reigns.
I hate
last
you
week.
so much.
I just knew
I'm
if
not
it was,
over
If you
that.
did it once, you better do it again.
if it was being booked. I personally would pick HBK over Roman Reigns, but Roman
No.
Reigns would be booked over
Okay.
HBK, and Roman Reigns would be booked over Seth Rollins as well.
Oh!
I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
Get that tater tot out of here, Seth freaking Rollins.
Roman Reigns eliminated, does not make the
man.
second weekend of the tournament.
Bye bye.
Ric Flair against ravishing Rick Rude. Love Rick Rude, great Intercontinental Champion, a charter member of Degeneration X, but obviously dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair.
Doing it with Flair.
Styling and profiling.
Doing it with Flair.
Woo!
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. This is one of the toughest ones for me. Against Eddie Guerrero.
I want to see this match so bad.
Me too.
I want it
Mr.
to happen. I gotta check the network.
Why do I feel like this match happened in 02?
I don't think so.
I don't think it did either.
No.
No, I don't think this happened in WWE.
But for me, Kurt Hennig, as much as I loved him, never held the world title. Eddie Guerrero defeated Brock Lesnar for the title. I go Eddie Guerrero. Lies, cheats, and steals his way into the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that Vato too. Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I'm going Latino Heat.
Latino.
Another somewhat controversial pick with AJ Styles going over Ricky Steamboat last week. But we have the number 3 seed, Triple H, the Game, the King of Kings, the Cerebral Assassin against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. I love AJ, but Triple H.
You know, we're going to have an angry viewer just hearing his name.
Yeah? Yeah, we are.
Just to bother him, I'm going to go Triple H there. Triple H is, he's not going to get Styles class.
Hunter Hearst helmet.
I knew that was coming.
It's for you. You know who.
2000 all over again.
There we go.
Number 2 seed against the number 10, the Macho Man Randy Savage against Vader. Yeah, ooh yeah! The Macho Man makes his way into the Sweet 16.
Macho Man
Macho.
goes over again.
All right. These turned out to not be as hard for the most part as I expected. Next week will be hard. The Immortal Hulk Hogan against Owen Hart. Sorry, Owen, but Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hogan would not allow to lose to you. Owen.
Yeah.
If you want to let your brother beat him, he ain't letting you beat him.
Aaron?
That Terry Bollea brother. Have you heard his Gawker trial?
A little bit.
Oh my-
but I'm trying to avoid it.
It's so good. He's under the impression, Hogan, he's saying that Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea are two different people.
Okay. I thought I heard something about that. I thought it was a joke, but that's true?
It's excellent.
Wow.
It's
Or maybe
excellent.
that maybe gave me a little motivation
It's
to
excellent.
look into it.
Listen to it. It is so fun.
Two Paul Heyman advocates. Or not advocates, two Paul Heyman clients.
Paul Heyman guys.
Yes,
A Paul
two
Heyman guy
guys.
versus the Paul Heyman beast.
Yes. Number 4 seed, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Versus
against
the best in the world.
CM Punk. This is another one where if I go with my heart, I'm taking Punk. But booking would definitely have Brock go over.
Yep. You can go first.
All right. This was because this match was
It's tough. I mean,
no,
I'm not
it was
gonna
tough
say
because their time with the companies was almost equal,
right.
and both great champions and all that, but 25-8, 366, and Punk we trust.
Whoa! So you're going CM and you got Brock. This is it right
Well,
here.
now I know.
Wow.
Man, now you just made the decision. I thought you guys were both going to say Brock, and I was just going to skip it. But we're just going to drop a pipe bomb and go with CM Punk.
The Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
He can talk.
early-
He's going to get put to
He
sleep.
can talk, and if he ever came back, he ain't letting Lesnar beat him.
That's
True.
a monster upset.
Well, I gotta say, I don't hate it. I mean, because I wanted to pick him, so I'm glad to see him still alive.
And we're
And with all that heat between Hogan and CM Punk, I can't wait to discuss that one next week.
CM Punk is going to make a run.
I'm bringing my Pepsi next week.
This next one, I believe, is a tough one. We got a 3 seed, the Shovel John Cena against the Ultimate Warrior. It's tough because I think when the Warrior's hot streak was as big as anyone else's, but Cena just did it for so much longer than anybody else. I don't like him. He probably doesn't get as much respect as he deserves from fans for being as good as he actually is.
Well, I'll say
He's
it
just
first.
boring
Though.
and annoying.
John Cena.
I got Cena too.
The guy in the jar.
All right.
Sweet.
Last matchup of this round of the tournament. Rey Mysterio knocked off Andre the Giant. The Undertaker knocked off his brother Kane. We have number 2 seed Undertaker against number 10 Rey Mysterio. The streak speaks for itself. The Undertaker.
Dead man ain't.
Undertaker, another clean
The American
sweep.
Badass.
All right, so there you have it for March
The
Mania.
Phenom.
we had polls that we posted last night for people to vote on these themselves. We'll post them a little earlier going into next week. If anybody's listening, watching, hopefully you could fill out your own. Maybe we'll use the fan vote as another vote to help us get to the next round. You can check us out, as always, on YouTube. You can check us out on iTunes and Podbean. Please subscribe to our channels, follow our channels, listen to us every week. We're going to be bringing you more content in the very near future. Vote on the MarchMania polls when they get posted. I'll be posting them on Twitter at Ron Pashery. Nobody will know how to spell that. RONPASCERI. So hopefully we hear from you guys soon, and we will see you next week.
Oh, and follow us on Instagram, matt.madness_podcast.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. See you next week.
Good show.